Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well.
Good morning, folks. Happy Wednesday, wherever you are tuning in for another Wealth Coffee Chat for Property Management Wednesdays. I've still got to come up with a bit of a tagline, don't I, for Property Management Wednesdays. But look, morning to you guys, courtesy of Sula Juice Bar this morning down the road. They do good stuff. Hope you got a nice coffee in hand as well to have a bit of a chat this morning. And I was sitting there last night thinking, what are we going to talk about today, right? And I found myself over the past week with regards to a conversation I was having with a potential client. And I thought it was kind of interesting around sort of management fees, 4%, 7%, 8% fixed fees. There's a number of property management companies out there. So I thought we'd talk about that today and how do we sort of decide which one is best for us. So I'll do a bit of the intros this morning. Chris is on. Welcome, Chris. So is Alex this morning. And others, Roman as well. Whoa, chat's going off this morning. Good work, team. We're all up and early. Morning, Luke and James and Margaret. Morning to you guys as well. Hey, listen, team, if you haven't seen me around on a Wednesday morning, I sort of host Wealth Coffee Chats, Property Management Wednesdays. Of course, we talk all things about holding, your biggest investment there, your property. We talk all things from some marketing strategies. We talk about how we maximize rents. And essentially, it's about keeping you safe and making you wealthy, right? And, over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about how to keep you safe, how to best position yourself. And so this morning, it's kind of along those lines as well, but also to maximize your result. So this morning, here's the problem. Saw last night, give or take, 85% of new agents in the real estate industry quit before the 5-year mark of their career, right? Crazy numbers. Then I saw, on top of that, team, what do you guys think? Property managers, what do you guys think? What's the average tenure, average turnover of property managers in this country? How long does a property manager hold their role for? Does anyone know? Anyone pop that in the chat for me? Good morning to you, Sonia. Thank you for joining us. How long, team? How long, on average, does a property manager hold their role for? It's pretty crazy, right? It's pretty crazy. 13 years in this business, I think a long time ago when I started back in 2011, 2012. The average tenure was probably about, 18 months, 2 years. It was quite solid back then. I was in an office where, we were together for 5-6 plus years, right? Here we go. Roman's throwing in the chat. Yeah, so 2 to 3 years, I would say. Roman, back in the day was certainly, I've just got rid of that. Sorry, Sonia. 5. Yeah. So I would say at the start of my career 13 years ago, that was probably what was happening. But we've got Kelly jumping on here at the moment. Some of you guys may know Kelly, you may not. 9 months, right? 9 months, team. So pretty crazy, right? There's not a lot of property managers out there that have lasted 2, 5, 10 plus years, right? So what I see is there is a big gap between those that are doing this for a career and those who are doing this for a long time, keeping you safe, making you wealthy. And then on the flip side, there's this turnover every sort of 9 months, right? So as investors, as the landlord out there holding your property, you could imagine it could be quite challenging to hold your property for 10, 15 plus years, right? If you've got a property manager coming in every sort of 6, 9 months, right? So big challenge. So the conversation I was having with a client this week, Alex says, yeah, he's had two team members over 30 years. That's incredible, Alex. Well done to you on that. That's incredible in that space. And I think the conversation I got caught up in this week, team, was with a potential client. She's been with a particular property management group for I think nearly 10 years, right? She's had the property for 10 years. Some things have worked early on, and now she finds herself in a situation where perhaps rents aren't being maximized. There's some tenancy issues. We had a conversation, and we got down to the real costs of partnering together, right? We want to help her be safe and get what she wants, right? Get what she deserves as the investor. And what happened was we found that we actually were debating over a really, really minute investment. And so I want to share what that is today, because I don't know about you guys, but certainly from my perspective, 13 years in the industry, I hear a lot of the time, but Cassio, 7-8% management fee, right? And there's other businesses offering me 4. Totally cool, right? I get it, team. They're out there. Some go the distance, most don't, unfortunately. And so this is not a pitch in any way, shape, or form. This is just information to impress on you guys, wherever you are in the marketplace, of sort of the real costs when it comes to your property management team. Now, I'm in charge of the tech today, so let's see if I can work this, team. So I'm just going to try and share this right now. Let's see if I can swap that over. All right, you tell me in the chat, team. You see a blank screen? Hopefully you do. Luke says, yeah, you get what you pay for. And so I want to deep dive into this, because there's a misconception that it's thousands and thousands, right, for a great property manager. In fact, it's actually quite the opposite, right? So we're going to unpack this. So let's go here, team. So real costs, right? Real costs. Hopefully you guys can see that. Shout out in the chat if you don't. All right, so I'm going to give you an example of situation I found myself in this week with a client, right? We've got agent A over here, and then agent B over here, right? Now let's say for easy math, just so you guys can follow along, right? Oh, it's deciding to not work. There we go. Agent A is 5%, right? And agent B is 7%. And of course, there's GST and some other auxiliary fees on top of that. But for easy math today, everyone seems to get caught on the management fee, right? Team, what are we talking about here? We're talking about 2% gap, yeah? 2% gap. So what happens is, and this has been my experience in the past, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. And investor A goes off and chooses agent A. Cool, wish them all the best, away they go. They list the property, they try to get, obviously, maybe there's not so much strategy in place, right? So we've got, there's some marketing stuff that we've spoken about, some marketing strategies. There's how we conduct an open home, and importantly, what level of negotiation skill does that agent have, right? So there's a few factors in there of maybe what separates agent A and agent B. Now let me see if I can move this. Probably not, team, so bear with me as we go through this. But essentially what tends to happen, right, and this is one of the examples, agent A goes and rents, oh, team, I'm on fire this morning with the tech. Agent A goes and rents at $500 per week, right? Agent B over here goes and gets $550 and $30 per week. Now, a few weeks ago, for those following along, been joining in on a Wednesday, has probably seen that me share a few examples in relation to some case studies of why the same property, 4-bedroom home in the same area, in the same street, can have such a fluctuation with rents per week. So effectively here, if I can change this, really doesn't like me this morning, team. Right, $30 per week. Right, the $30 per week in rent that you are able to maximize with the great property manager versus the average and standard property manager, right? It's about just over $1,500 per year, right? So about $1,560, right? $1,560 extra revenue, extra gross revenue in your pocket, going with the agent that's got the strategy, that's got the negotiation skills, right? What we find with this 2% we all get fixated on, right, is this. Now, team, you guys tell me, but the 2% difference here, based on the rent, it's about $10 per week, right? About $520 per year. I think my caption in the corner is blocking that, but $520 per year, right? So what tends to happen with a lot of investors, we end up talking about the 2%, right? The 2% difference, and we forget about the actual outcome, the actual result when it comes to renting the property. Now, this could be through a lease negotiation. This could be obviously leasing your home out, but there's many, many examples of separating agent A and agent B, right? So team, the biggest gap is here. We look at and go, well, should I be considering the 5% agent? You're actually $1,000 better off to go with agent B. Does that make sense in that space? So we're always looking at the net figure. How much money as a property manager can I put in my owner's back pocket? That's the number one thing. We're here to keep you safe, make you wealthy. And part of making you wealthy is putting more money in your back pocket, right? And so, sometimes, team, I guess the point I want to make this morning, sometimes it's important to not focus on that 2% difference, but focus on all the other things that you can, whether it's the marketing strategy, the type of listing you put on realestate.com, all the things we've been talking about over the last few weeks, and maybe we'll need to do a refresher next week. You'll actually find yourself at a minimum $1,000 better off, right? Now, we can go into the entry condition reports like we spoke last week, and that can save you even more, right? Thousands and thousands. But a very simple sort of thing to understand this morning is agent A, agent B, not necessarily the same agents. And sometimes there's more questions as an investor we've got to ask when it comes to what that strategy that they're implementing looks like, right? Because ultimately, it's about putting the most amount of money in your pocket. So Roman says here, offering low percentage with that under 2 stars. Yeah, I mean, look, that's a great way, Roman, to sort of I guess understand what it's like, what they are like as a property manager. We actually just did sort of a on-demand webinar coming out very soon, team, where it's like 7 things you need to know before you lease your property. And one of those things is, to Roman's point there, it's, can your property management team, when you're interviewing them, show you some collateral, show you some reviews? Can you go and talk to other clients and gain their experience? So team, it's not necessarily about the 2%. Right. I know holding costs are going up. I know it's certainly a conversation I'm having a lot more of over the past few months. And I thought I'd just share that with you, team, because I took this client through this process in comparing, one agent to the other. And it might be me, it might be someone else, right? But in your marketplace, what does that look like? We need to understand apples for apples, what that percentage fee is covering. What do you guys get? What is your return on investment from your property management team, right? If it has nothing to do with keeping you safe and making you wealthy, team, I'm telling you, you're with the wrong guys, right? So hopefully that has been some information this morning that has helped. Hopefully that gives you guys a bit of an understanding around, how we can maximize some things. So that's the real cost, team, when it comes to management fees. Please, any questions, pop in the chat. We've probably got a minute or two spare, but thought I'd just take you through that this morning, team. Because you're definitely better off ahead when it comes to that sort of stuff. But yeah, Michelle says here, a bit of a question. Missed last week, we can go in condition report. Yes, Michelle, I believe it was recorded. I can try find you the recording and grab that for you. So I'll make a note on that for you. Certainly last week was super critical around entry condition reports, and that can save you tens of thousands of dollars, right? If we do it right. So certainly, team, yeah, if you jump on the Facebook pages and mentoring groups, if you're part of that as well, and also YouTube, you can jump on YouTube as well and find the links. So there's some spots there to potentially have a look at, Michelle, and just reach out if you can't find it. My email's across the bottom, team. Team, is there any questions? Anything further you guys want to know? Anything you guys want me to come on a Wednesday and talk about? Please, any sort of nitty-gritty stuff that perhaps doesn't get out there. Let's Wealth Coffee Chat. Let's work out the solutions together and go from there, team. Well, look, that's me for today. Thanks to Sulla for my coffee this morning. It'll probably get me through the next couple of hours. Thanks for participating, team, and all your questions and info there in the chat. Morning to everyone, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll pause there. Tomorrow, don't forget, Jason's back for another Wealth Coffee Chat, team. Enjoy your Wednesday. Catch up.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.